Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another reading of the Bible. We are now in Second Chronicles. I read First Kings this morning, which is part of our chronological order in reading, and I left my chronological order Bible in at work. But I do know I need to read Second Chronicles today, and I'm going to read just chapter one. It's uh, pretty short. Uh, 70 verses. Okay. Chapter 1 of Second Chronicles. Here we go. Solomon the son of David was strengthened in his kingdom, and the Lord his God was with him, and magnified him exceedingly. Then Solomon spake unto all Israel, to the captains of thousands and of hundreds, to the judges, and to every governor, and in Israel the chief of the fathers. So Solomon and all the congregation with him went to the high place that was at Gibeon, for there was the tabernacle of the congregation of God, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, had made in the wilderness. But the ark of God had David brought up from Kirjath Jearim to the place which David had prepared for it, for he had pitched a tent for it at Jerusalem. Moreover, the brazen altar that Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, Hur, had made, he put before the tabernacle of the Lord, and Solomon and the congregation sought unto it. Solomon went up hither or thither to the brazen altar before the Lord, which was at the tabernacle of the congregation, and offered a thousand burnt offerings upon it. In that night did God appear unto Solomon, and said unto him, Ask what I shall give thee. Solomon said unto God, Thou hast showed great mercy unto David my father, and hast made me to reign in his stead. Now, O Lord God, let thy promise unto David my father be established, for thou hast made me king over a people like the dust of the earth in multitude. Give me now wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this thy people that is so great? God said unto Solomon, Because this was in thine heart, and thou hast not asked for riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of thine enemies, neither yet had ye asked for long life, but hast asked wisdom and knowledge for thyself, that thou mayest judge my people, over whom I have made thee king. Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto you and unto thee, or unto thou, and I will give thee riches, wealth, honor, such as none of the kings have had that have who have been before thee, neither shall there any after thee have the like. Then Solomon came from his journey to the high place that was at Gibeon to Jerusalem from before the tabernacle of the congregation, and reigned over Israel. Solomon gathered chariots and horsemen, and he had 1,400 chariots, 12,000 horsemen, which he placed in the chariot cities, and with the king at Jerusalem. The king made silver and gold at Jerusalem, as plenty as the stones and cedar trees made he, as the sycamore trees that are in the vale for abundance, or the valley for abundance. Solomon had horses brought out of Egypt, and linen yarn. The king's merchants received the linen yarn at a price. They fetched up and brought forth out of Egypt a chariot for 600 shekels of silver, and a horse for 150. And so brought they out horses for all the kings of the Hittites and for the kings of Syria by their means. Chapter 1. I'll read chapter 2. Solomon determined to build a house for the name of the Lord, and a house for his kingdom. Solomon told out 70,000 So that's 370,000 men to bear burdens, and 80,000, that's 80,000, to hew in the mountain, and 3,600 to oversee them. Solomon sent to Horam the king of Tyre, saying, As thou didst deal with David my father, and didst send him cedars to build him a house to dwell therein, even so deal with me. Behold, I build a house to the name of the Lord my God, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual showbread, and for the burnt offerings morning and evening, on the Sabbaths, and on the new moons, and on the solemn feasts of the Lord our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. The house which I build is great, for great is our God above all gods. Small g, God for gods. But who is able to build him a house, seeing the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain him? Who am I then that I should build him a house, save only to burn sacrifices before him? Send me now, therefore, a man cunning to work in gold and silver, in brass and iron, in purple and crimson and blue, and that can skill to grave with the cunning men who are with me in Judah and in Jerusalem, whom David my father did provide. Send me also cedar trees, fir trees, fir trees, and algum trees out of Lebanon, for I know that thy servants can skill to cut, or have skill to cut timber in Lebanon, and behold, my servants shall be with thy servants, even to prepare me timber in abundance for the house which I am about to build shall be wonderfully great. Behold, I will give to thy servants the hewers who cut timber 20,000 measures of beaten wheat, and 20,000 measures of barley, 20,000 baths of wine, 20,000 baths of oil. Then Huram, the king of Tyre, answered in writing, which he sent to Solomon, because the Lord hath loved his people, he hath made thee king over them. Huram said, moreover, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, who made heaven and earth, who hath given to David the king a wise son, endued with prudence and understanding, that who might build a house for the Lord, and a house for his kingdom. Now I have sent a cunning man, and endued with understanding, of Huram my father's, the son of a woman and of the daughters of Dan, and his father was a man of Tyre, skillful to work in gold, in silver, in brass, in iron, in stone, in timber, in purple, in blue, in fine linen, and in crimson, also to grave any manner of graving, and to find out every device which shall be put to him, with thy cunning men, and with the cunning men of my lord David thy father. Now therefore the wheat and the barley, the oil, the wine, which my lord hath spoken of, let him send unto his servants. We will cut wood out of Lebanon, as much as thou shalt need, and we will bring it to thee in floats by sea, or boats, or ships by sea to Joppa, and thou shalt carry it up to Jerusalem. Solomon numbered all the strangers who were in the land of Israel after the numbering wherewith David his father had numbered them, and they were found 53,600. He set 70,000, that's 3 times 20, 60, 70,000 of them to be bearers of burdens, and 80,000, that's 80,000, to be hewers in the mountain, and 3,600 overseers to set people at work. Chapter 3. Then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord at Jerusalem in Mount Moriah, where the Lord appeared unto David his father, in the place that David had prepared in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. He began to build in the second day of the second month, in the 4th year of his reign. Now these are the things wherein Solomon was instructed for the building of the house of God. The length by cubits after the first measure was 60, cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. The porch that was in the front of the house, the length of it was according to the breadth of the house, 20 cubits, and the height was 120. And the height was 120. And he overlaid it with pure gold. The greater house was the greater house he what? Sealed? Okay. That's an interesting word. Cieled. Yeah, this verse 5. We get a cross reference there. Rome parallel with Cyprus? No. He oh come on. Okay, there, yeah. Parallel with Cyprus. Parallel with Cyprus. Okay. With cypress trees. The greater house he paralleled with cypress trees or fir trees, which he overlaid with fine gold and set thereon palm trees and chains. He garnished the house with precious stones for beauty, and the gold was gold of Parvaim. He overlaid also the house, the beams, the posts, and the walls thereof, and the doors thereof with gold, with gold, engraved cherubims on the walls. He made the most holy house, the length whereof was according to the breadth of the house 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 20 cubits, and overlaid it with the fine gold, amounting to 600 talents. The weight of the nails was 50 shekels of gold, and he overlaid the upper chambers with gold. In the most holy house he made 2 cherubims of image work, and overlaid them with gold. The wings of the cherubims were 20 cubits long. One wing of the one cherub was 5 cubits, reaching to the wall of the house, and the other wing was likewise 5 cubits, reaching to the wing of the other cherub. It's long, long wings. One wing of the other cherub was 5 cubits, reaching to the wall of the house, and the other wing was the 5 cubits, also joining to the wing of the other cherub. So there's 4 of them. The wings of these cherubim spread themselves spread themselves forth 20 cubits, and they stood on their feet, and their faces were inward. He made the veil of blue and purple and crimson, fine linen, and wrought cherubims thereof. Also he made before the house 2 pillars of 30 and 35 cubits high, and the chapiter, excuse me, verse 15, chapiter. I guess that's no, 4. Capital, oh yeah, the capital that was on top of each of them was 5 cubits. He made chains as in the oracle, and put them on the heads of the pillars, and also 100 pomegranates, and put them on the chains. He reared up the pillars before the temple, one on the right hand and the other on the left, and called the name of that on the right hand Yakin, and the name of that on the left Boaz. Interesting. So that's the first 3 chapters of Second Chronicles. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.